Hi students, today our lesson is about trigonometry, especially regarding trigonometric ratios of special acute angles and right angle. Let's begin. Let's begin with this triangle, right angle triangle. The first one, if the length of AB equal 1 and length of AC equal square root 3, it means we may calculate DC according to Pythagoras theorem. It's going to be square root 1 square equal 1 plus square root 3 square equal 3. And it's going to be square root 4 equal 2. Okay, 2 here. With the same method, also we may determine square root 2 from 1, 1, and this hypotenuse equals square root 2. Okay. Now, how about if cosine 60? Cosine 60, you may determine through this right angle triangle. We call that cosine 60 equal adjacent over hypotenuse. So it means half, like this. And how about sine 60? Sine 60 equal opposite. Okay, opposite this one, square root 3 over 2. Or we may simplify a half square root 3. Okay, and tangent 60, tangent 60 opposite over adjacent. It means square root 3 over 1 equals square root 3. That's for 60 degrees. So how about for 30? Sine 30 equal opposite over hypotenuse, opposite of this angle 30 degrees go 1. So sine 30 equal a half. 1 over 2. Opposite over hypotenuse. And cosine 60. Cosine 60 cosine 30, cosine 30 equal adjacent over hypotenuse. 1, or we may simplify a half square root 3. Okay, look that cosine 30 equal sine 60 and cosine 60 equal sine 30. Now this one. Or for tangent, first, wait, tangent. Before we move to 45, tangent 30 equal adjacent over, opposite over adjacent. It means 1 over square root 3. Or we may simplify equal 1/3 square root 3 like this. Last one, sine 45. Sine 45 equal 1 over square root 2, or we may simplify, gonna be a half square root 2, this, and cosine 45 also 1 over square root 2, or a half square root 2, and tangent 45 equal 1, equals 1 over 1. So how about 90? Okay, how about 90? Sine 90, okay. Sine 90 equal 1, and cosine 90 equal 0. How about tangent? Tangent 90 0 divided by 1, there is no result. Okay. Okay, let's move to the next problem for this one. For the next table is one, we are going to determine this table according to the previous table, the previous slides, our lesson that sine 30 equal a half, sine 45 equal a half square root 2, sine 60 equal a half square root 3, and cosine 30 equal a half square root 3, and cosine 45 a half square root 2, and cosine 60 equal a half. Tangent 30 equal 1/3 square root 3, and this is 1, tangent 45, tangent 60 square root 3. Okay. Look these patterns. Actually, there is square root 1 here. Yeah. And sine 0 equal 0. And you may writing like this, square root a half times square root 0, a half times square root 0, a half square root 1, a half square root 2, a half square root 3, and a half square root 4. A half square root 4, how much? This is 1. Okay, because sine 90 equal 1. And cosine 90, square root 1 here, it means here square root half square root 4. So sine opposite of cosine, if sine from a half square root 0, cosine start from a half square root 4, a half square root 4, a half square root 3, a half square root 2, a half square root 1, and a half square root 0. This. So you may determine tangent 0. There is no number here because, oh, there is 0 here. Okay, because 0 divided by 1. And this one, there's no number here. There is no result here. Okay, so very simple to memorize the special the value of sine, cosine, and tangent of special acute angles. If tangent sine over cosine, For example, tangent 30. Tangent 30, a half over a half square root 3. And you may find this, you may writing this result. And tangent 45, a half square root 3, a half square root 2 over a half square root 2 equal 1. Next, using x equal 30 degrees so that sine to x equal to sine x cos x. Okay. So these equations gonna be sine. If x equal to 30, it becomes sine 60 equal 2 times sine 30 cosine 30. Okay. So sine 60 equal a half square root 3 and 2 times sine 30 equal a half and cosine 30 equal a half square root 3. Okay. 2 times a half equal 1 and the result a half square root 3 equal a half square root 3. Proof. Okay. Now this one. Sine square 45 plus cosine square 45 equal 1. This is a half square root 2 square a half square root 2 square like this, and it's going to be a quarter times 2 plus a quarter times 2, 1. So this is a half plus a half equal 1. Okay, that's 1. Cosine 2 times 30, cosine 60 equal 2 times cosine square 30, 1. Cosine 60 equal a half. So 2 times cosine 30 is a half square root 3 squared minus 1. 2 times a quarter times 3 is 1. And this is 2 times 1 equal 2 quarter. A half times 3, 3 half minus 1. It's going to be a half like this. Yeah. So a half equal a half. Proof. That's 1. Find the exact value of the side mark with a letter. Okay, a length r in centimeters. Okay, we are going to find A. If you look this side position, we should apply sine. Okay, sine 30 equal A over 12. Yeah. Sine 30 value is a half, so A equal a half times 12 equals 6. Next, cosine. This is a cosine. Yeah, to determine b, we have to apply cosine. Cosine 60 equal, oh, I think not cosine but tangent. Wait, we have to apply tangent, not cosine, because there's no information this hypotenuse. Tangent 60 equal b over 2. How much? Tangent 60 square root 3. B 2. So b equal 2 square root 3 like this. Okay, very simple. Okay, this is your exercise. Students, if you have any questions, or if you want to turn in these solutions, this exercise solution, and if you want to ask me something regarding this explanation, you may send me your email through this email, hendrik.academy21@gmail.com. Thank you for joining with me in this lesson. Bye.